My name is Victor Pataka, and I'm the CEO of Telmo, which is a US-based company that does systems integration and now technology transfer. So Telmo is a startup, and we recently established both in the United States and in Japan. The patents and intellectual property that we have are the results of about a decade of research, and they're at the intersection of robotics, AI, and communications. At the moment, we seek partners in Japan to continue building real-world products based on the research that we've done in the US, both in Silicon Valley and in a place called Orlando, Florida. We have about 20 years of research in systems related to communications, and also more recently in biomimicry, AI techniques that can be used in robotics and combined with this communication to talk so that the robots talk to each other. Osaka came to the top of the list, mostly because the areas that we're interested in, market segments, things like healthcare, AI, aerospace, and so on. These are also segments that interest businesses in Osaka. And so there was a match there. There was a natural match where some of our business interests coincided with what the city of Osaka was promoting. Historically, Osaka has manufactured everything from heavy machinery to microelectronics, all kinds of industries. And that sense of competence and ability to create things matches our idea about what we would like to do. So we feel that there's a natural connection between this can-do spirit in Osaka and the capabilities of all of these industries and our company. We built a network through our introductions with entities or organizations like IBPC, BSO, TEX, and so on. And we'd previously worked with incubators and accelerators in California, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that there were many such incubators and accelerators, and some of them, of course, run by the city that helped not only startups, but people who were entering the Japanese market. I was surprised at the depth of what they offered and the introductions that they offered also to business partners like banking, accounting, lawyers, and so on. And that made it really easy for us to make the choice to come and work in Osaka. We've begun to meet business partners, and the introductions are usually through some of these city and government entities. There are many events which these organizations run and launch, and we've attended them, and through them we've been introduced to local partners. Of course, we do our own investigation as well. We've also worked with JETRO for this, and these introductions are still at an early stage, but I'm quite pleased with how many people we've met and how many like-minded companies we've encountered. I enjoy doing business in Japan because there are more similarities than differences. So if one does international business in places like Europe and Asia, Japan is not that unusual, and it actually has some great advantages in the sense that it's a society that's governed by rules and laws that we can easily well understand, and that's most helpful. So we have both an internal and an external perspective to this. Internally in our company, we're launching in the US as well. And so we are developing things like marketing, research, development in the US simultaneously while we are doing it in Japan. And that's quite interesting because what we find is that if we're able to convince our Japanese partners that we have value and that what we're developing is worthwhile, we've come to realize that it's applicable anywhere and it can be used anywhere. And so that effort for simultaneous localization and internationalization has been very helpful to us. So building a parallel global product in AI and in communications has been interesting, challenging, but at the same time, I would say quite rewarding, because the environment that we're working in here is well understood. So there are a number of initiatives that the government has launched in things like sustainability, quality of life, the environment, and so forth. And interestingly enough, the kind of solutions that we have in mind to do with smart cities or humanoid robotics intersect with those type of objectives. So we have high hopes being able to contribute to some of the plans that both the Japanese government and the city of Osaka have to improve the quality of life and the safety of its population. I think the initiatives in Osaka are very admirable, and I would like to see them continue and receive funding. But in general, I would say just keep doing what the city of Osaka is doing right now. I think it's excellent, and I think it's growing. For us, it was interesting to see that IBPC was a single source of market entry because of all the partnerships you have with outside agencies that could assist us. So that was a fast start. In other words, landing in Osaka was really easy from the perspective of starting a company and establishing services, finding staff. Later, BSO made it easy for us also to have a temporary office space, and it's quite unusual to see that. We were very grateful for that, and that gave us a breathing space to be able to establish the rest of the company. Now with TEX, since there are other like-minded companies entering the market and in technology, we're looking forward to collaboration and also for learning from them and to exchange our views with them. In general, it's been a very positive experience working with these various organizations. So for any company thinking of entering not just the Japanese market, but the Asian market, I would highly recommend Osaka. It's a vibrant community with its own culture. People are quite relaxed, and yet they have a historical culture of getting things done. For us, one of the things that was quite important was the staffing issues. There are many high-quality, competent people available to hire here. And for any growth-oriented company, that's quite important. I recommend using Osaka as a springboard, especially when one looks at the quality staff that's available.